Slamdown is sponsored by Body Slam and Jam and WWE Smack Talks. Welcome to another episode of Slamdown Livestream. We're going to be covering everything Smackdown on this show. I was going to wait to the end of the show to cover a few little things, but I really want to get it off my chest now. One thing that really bugs me is wrestling rumours. Now, there has been some reports from PW Insider that Mike Bennett and Rhea Kellis Bennett and Jade are gone from the company. Now, this is why I have a problem with PW Insider. A lot of times in the past, they've given us wrong information. They've told porcupines. At least with the Hardys, we saw it on their Twitter. We knew something was happening. Drew Galloway posted something on Twitter. We knew something was happening there. I haven't seen anything on Jade's. I haven't seen anything on Mike Bennett's Instagram. I've seen absolute no evidence to back up these rumours. Now, me personally, I hope they are still with the company. But we'll have to wait and see. Another thing that is bugging the crap out of me, and I really, really need to get it out of my chest, is Drew Galloway. I'm extremely, extremely disappointed in him. I thought the reason that he didn't sign was because he probably wanted to work on the UK scene. But he did not re-sign with the company because they left it late. He knows there's new owners. Management are making changes. So because your contract offer was late, you walk away from the company. Doesn't make sense to me. End of the day, TNA is in redevelopment. They're firing, they're bringing in, they're changing stuff. It's a long process. TNA or Impact Wrestling is a damaged product. It's had a lot of seepage where it's lost a lot of money. It's lost a hell of a lot of its fan base and the viewing figures. Now, since Drew Galloway's been there, their figures haven't really gone up. The whole Hardy thing, their figures didn't go up. It was talked about, but it didn't bring their viewing figures up. And this is what coming back to my point. TNA is a work in progress. Rome wasn't built in a day. So why are you expecting TNA to be right at the top? It's going to take time. Anthem have had to clear so much debt. Now they're sorting the backroom staff out. Next, we'll see more talent coming in. When Jeff Jarrett was running TNA back in the day, even though he did have Dixie with him, there was a lot of stuff he was doing. He ran most of TNA before Dixie started taking over a lot more and he got pushed back. But if you look at TNA's best viewing figures, is when Jeff Jarrett was in charge. So give him time. I'm not going to go on about TNA because this is the SmackDown show. So I will talk about it more on Monday. But my main point is, do not believe everything you read. If you saw a post out there that said Hulk Hogan has joined TNA, it's official, I've got an inside information, you wouldn't think they've signed him. What's going? You'd believe it when you really shouldn't. You do not know who their source is. You do not know who their information is. All they say is they've got a source. That source could be a janitor that overheard parts of a conversation. It's the whole Page thing all over again, where someone posted about Page getting a lawyer to get out of a WWE contract, and later on we found out the whole thing was just complete hogwash. That is my point. Stop believing what you read. You're wrestling fans. You're more intelligent than this. Yes, the Jeff the Hardy thing was true. We saw Rebby Sky's Twitter, and then we saw Matt's, right? And then Jeff Jarrett commented on it. We haven't heard nothing from Jade, nothing from Impact, nothing from Jeff Jarrett, absolutely nothing. It's been media silence, and that's my point. That is my point. There's been nothing from official sources. And also, they haven't even done tapings yet. If they did tapings and Jade wasn't there for the whole tapings, then you start questioning it. If Mike Bennett and Maria Kellis Bennett wasn't there for tapings, then you question it. The tapings haven't even happened yet, and people are already coming up with this, that, and the other. And to be honest, I've looked at the contracts that have been offered, and to be honest, they're quite fair. I keep calling it TNA. TNA want to keep their best stars on TNA and not on other promotions. So I can see where they're going with their deals. So, you might not like it, but they're a business end of the day. They've got to make profit. They've got to get sustainable viewership. But I'm not going to sit here and keep moaning about fans and fake news articles that's got no substance and no evidence. Let's get into talking about the SmackDown show. And don't forget, you can comment on either our Mixlr page or on the Facebook comments. I do read your comments. One little update I do want to give. I am in talks with someone, which I should be talking to tomorrow, about coming to join as a co-host. I won't say too much because, I've got to have a conversation with them and talks and everything. But it's more likely that there will be, I will have a co-host for Impact Wrestling. I am still looking for a co-host to do the SmackDown show and the Raw show. Even if you're watching this video, if you're interested, message me. I'll add you on Skype. We'll have a conversation, talk about a few things, and then go from there. So, let's kick off SmackDown. Start of the show, we saw Miz TV, which we haven't seen for a little while. We saw him call out John Cena. And then the Miz telling the Cena he's not all that great. He moaned about The Rock, but then he's doing what The Rock's doing, coming off to Hollywood and everything else. John Cena came back that said to Miz, you're a copy, you do Ric Flair's finisher, blah, blah, blah. Ended with Maurice slapping John Cena, then came Nikki Bella, which makes me believe what people thought was going to happen at WrestleMania is happening at WrestleMania. We will see Nikki Bella, John Cena taking on The Miz and Maurice, couple versus couple. After that, we had our first match with Becky Lynch taking on Mickie James in a 2 out of 3 falls match. It was actually a really, really good match. You know, we saw the first fall go to Mickie James when she hit the DDT. Lynch bounced back with a surprise roll-up. Then it was one apiece. Alexa Bliss came down to ringside to help Mickie secure the victory, which backfired and led Becky Lynch leaving the Disarmer, where it makes me believe that the next match we'll probably see will be Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss. Moving from that story, we had our number one contender match, AJ Styles taking on Luke Harper, which I know it's been on Blotchamania a lot, but yeah, AJ's legs did hit down first. When I was watching SmackDown, I did last week. You see AJ's legs hit first, but they're saying they don't have the camera angle. Well, hang on a minute, we saw the camera angle at the side of the ring, but okay, we'll go with that. We saw AJ get the upper hand and beat Luke Harper, but then Shane came out and said his foot was on the right and it's restart the match. Shane got struck accidentally by Luke Harper, and then AJ Styles attacked Luke Harper, got him back in the ring, hit the forearm. Sorry, didn't hit the forearm. It wasn't the forearm he finished with. He hit the springboard 450 and became number one contender. It was meant to have Dean Ambrose versus Kurt Hawkins, which never happened, and doesn't surprise me because they do not really use Kurt Hawkins, to be honest. I'm surprised he's still with the company. I think he's going to be probably one of the guys they're going to release, if I'm honest, as well as Jack Swagger. I can see Jack Swagger being released, which in that case, if Jack Swagger's released, you will know where he'll end up, you know. You know, WWE guys that have sort of faded at the waistline, not doing too well, will end up in TNA. But they could do right, like they did with Duke Galloway with him, or they can do bad and do like what they've done with the Miz Down, or Aaron Rex, or whatever his buddy called. But to get to my point, the match never happened. He started calling out Baron Corbin instead. Yeah, because he went instead. He slid into the ring, hit the facts of Dirty Deeds under his foot, then called Baron Corbin out. The Lone Wolf appeared on the screen, responded to Ambrose's cry. Corbin proclaims that he would face off with Ambrose, but it'd be on his terms, and just annoyed Ambrose even more. Then we saw Dolph Ziggler taking on Apollo Crews in a chairs match, which for SmackDown we've seen quite a few chair matches recently. I really don't know why we're seeing so many chair matches, but hey ho, let's just go with it. It was quite a good match. I like the heel turn they're doing with him, and it's quite of an aggressive heel turn, and that's what I quite liked. It was a good overall match. I forgot to rate the matches, haven't I? Always do that. The Becky Lynch match, 3 out of 5 stars. Let me go back. The AJ Styles Luke Harper, I actually quite enjoyed that. I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5. The Apollo Crews chairs, Dolph Ziggler chair, it was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it. So I'm not going to give. I don't want to give it a 3, but I don't want to give it 2.5. So I'll say in between that. Best play I can put. Next, we saw Randy Orton on the screen while Bray Wyatt was looking at the Tron, down on his knees, emotional, because Orton has found Bray Wyatt's weakness. Randy Orton played Bray Wyatt, which I didn't see that coming. I thought they were legitimately going to keep them two together, but we saw Orton in a cabin, standing and saying, "This is where Sister Abigail is dead and buried, and her soul lives, the source of Bray's powers," and burns the place down. Now, what I believe could happen, and this can go in multiple ways, I do believe AJ Styles will be dropped from going for the title, which is going to lead to Shane versus AJ Styles. And Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt are going to headline WrestleMania. But what I also can see happening is Sister Abigail returning. Now, let me explain this. Sister Abigail, they could bring as a character. They could get a female diva or female woman wrestler. I don't know why I said female woman's wrestler. Or just a female. Let's try it again. They can bring in a female wrestler to play that character. It has to be the right person. They have to have the right attributes to really play that dark character. You know, similar to someone who like Rosemary, who plays Decay. You know, they need to do something like that for Bray Wyatt. To play that dark, twisted character, you know, to go along with Bray. Because you don't want to make Bray look weak, but you don't want to make her look weak. You need them to work on an evil level and sort of pushing each other up. I think that's the way they need to go this. SmackDown was definitely a lot better. I probably think it's one of the best. It smashed Raw out of the park. You know, I was very critical on Raw about statements being in wrong places, but SmackDown was brilliant. And ending with the Riot Family compound, with Randy Orton burning it down, amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's got me slightly hyped for WrestleMania now, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah. One thing I will say is on Monday, it's a double whammy because we've got Fastlane pay-per-view, so it will be TNA review or Impact Wrestling review at 9 p.m. GMT, and then at 10 p.m. GMT, I will be reviewing Fastlane, talking about everything about the Fastlane and the build-ups, and also I will talk about leading up to WrestleMania. I will do a show on Sunday with predictions, predicting who I think will win, lose, everything else. I will do that on Sunday. I will advertise that on Twitter in a minute when I sort everything out. But yeah, so I want to say big thanks to everybody listening. I always enjoy reading your comments as well. I will be back on there then. This has been your host, Ashley Friend, and I will see you on Sunday for predictions.